Hey guys! What's going on? So recently I finished high school. I was gonna say graduated, but that just feels wrong. I didn't have a ceremony or anything, so it just feels weird and a lie. Don't even have my diploma either. They still haven't given me that, so I don't know. I don't even know when that's coming. There is a spider on my roof. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Do they still use that theme song? A lot of you guys have asked me for high school advice, which is funny because I feel like high school is so self-explanatory, very anticlimactic. When you're first going to high school, you think it's gonna be like a movie. Well, bitch, sorry to break it to you, it's not a movie. You probably don't understand what I'm saying if you're not in high school yet, but once you're in high school, you will understand when I say it's just high school. You kind of just figure it out as you go on. Even if you don't know what you're doing, that's normal. Like, that's the norm. No one knows what they're doing, so you're fine. But I thought I would give you guys a breakdown of my high school experience and give you real advice and tips that actually will help you. I have watched so many high school advice videos in the past of these like white girls giving advice, and they say so many unnecessary things. So, welcome to Dustin's Declassified School Survival Guide. This is gonna be a video that's jam-packed with tips that you actually need when going into high school.
Here is a rapid-fire review of my high school experience. I had really high expectations going into high school, and I think that was the beginning of my downfall. I thought I would spend every weekend hanging out with friends and making memories, but really I was just stuck at home in my bed crying. I would give it a 5 out of 10. It was pretty average, really boring, I would not go back. Academically, I was a 4.0 student, but don't get it twisted, I am not smart. I just somehow figured out a way to finesse the system, and also I have Asian parents, so I had the pressure to get A's. I only took 3 AP classes, the easiest ones that were offered because I am lazy and I only wanted a grade bump. Did a few extracurriculars. I did Key Club for a little bit, CSF for a little bit, and Hip Hop Club for a little bit. Again, I wasn't really dedicated and ended up quitting all of these and only did them for a short period of time. Socially, I wasn't really popular. I was just more known solely due to the fact that I have a YouTube channel. I didn't have that many actual friends going through high school, mostly just acquaintances, never had a solid best friend or friend group. I basically just stuck around the same circle of people throughout the entire 4 years. I was kind of social. I went to a few games, shows, dances, and parties, but again, only a few. I had no love life and felt like an unimportant nobody, so I ended up spending most of my time isolated in my room doing homework or making YouTube videos or being sad. And that was my high school experience in a nutshell.
I separated my talking points into 2 categories, academically and socially. So let's get started with academic advice. My first tip I'm gonna start off with is a planner. My planner is so vital for my daily routine. I use my planner every single day for every single thing, even on weekends and breaks. It's one of the main factors of what keeps me organized and what keeps me productive. I write daily to-do lists, I write down any important events, due dates, meetings, anything. If I didn't have my planner, my life would actually be a mess. It's what keeps me controlled. It kind of borderline controls my life, which is not healthy, and I really need to like get a handle on that, but I think it has benefited me more than it has done negative. It keeps my mind uncluttered and makes sure I don't forget anything. If I don't write anything down, it's just gonna be in my mind constantly, and I'm constantly gonna have to try to be thinking of it and remembering it. Also, it's really satisfying when you check things off your to-do list throughout the day and you can see how productive you've been. Sometimes though, I do get a little bit overwhelmed and end up staring at my planner for an hour straight, wondering if I forgot to write something down. And other times, it's just me being so overwhelmed, I stare at this long list of things I have to do and I never get started because I'm that stressed. But I think that just might be my OCD tendencies, so don't worry about it. It's just mental illness, love. Recently, I actually bought a bullet journal. I used to bullet journal beginning of high school. It just takes so much out of your time, and I just didn't think it was worth it. And I'm also a perfectionist, so I would make these tiny mistakes and it would bother me and stress me out. So I just decided to stop bullet journaling and get back into using planners. And I definitely favor planners more. I would recommend others to have a planner instead of a bullet journal. But now that I'm not in high school anymore, I have the time, plus I need some sort of creative outlet because I never really have time to do art and stuff, so get organized. Organization is the key to be successful. I personally never really had trouble with organization. I naturally am just very much so an organization and clean freak. You don't have to go overboard with school supplies to be organized like those 26-year-olds on YouTube that make back to school videos, even though in reality they haven't been back to school in years. All you really need is a nice, good quality backpack that will last you throughout the entire 4 years of high school. I recommend keeping it simple in design so you never get tired of it. A file folder. This is so important. These are accordion expandable type folders. They're one big file folder with multiple slots in them, and they are way better than binders because you can just easily slide in the papers. A pencil pouch and maybe a few notebooks, and that's all you really need to stay organized and get through high school. Stay inspired. I am a sucker for stationery. learn. It's one of the things that kept me inspired and going throughout high school. Let me just put you guys on real quick. Pilot G2 pens. These are the best black pens you will ever use. They are way better than Muji pens, which are so overhyped. They don't bleed through paper, they're super smooth, and they have a handle so it's super easy and comfortable to write with. Trust me on this, okay? I know my stationery, and Pilot G2 pens, nothing compares. Specifically, .38, I will settle for .5, but .38 is prime. Let me put you guys on something else real quick. Daiso highlighters. These are my favorite highlighters, and they're also perfect dupes for the mild liners that are super expensive, but I know a lot of people use them. How I stayed inspired is buying myself cute stationery, listening to lo-fi music while I study, and watching Study Blur. If you guys don't know what Study Blur is, it's basically this community that's all about study culture. It's all about writing cute notes. It kind of just makes studying and being productive and doing your homework look fun and pretty, and makes you want to actually do it. Don't procrastinate. I feel like this is easier said than done, but if you really think about it, if you use your big brain, you just simply don't have to procrastinate. It's helpful to have a desk or a dedicated workspace. Right when you get home from school, do your work right away. Turn off your phone, put it away, and I usually go by a 30-minute work, 10-minute break set. So for 30 minutes, I'll strictly do my work, and then after those 30 minutes, I'll take a 10-minute break, and then after those 10 minutes are up, I'll do another 30 minutes of work, and then so on. And during those 30 minutes, I do listen to lo-fi music. Whenever I study, I have to listen to lo-fi music, or I just cannot do it. I'll just get bored. I do not recommend studying with friends. At least for me, whenever I study with friends, we go to a cute cafe and we end up just talking for 2 hours, and then we leave and we call it a productive study day, when in reality, we didn't do shit. I think that's a good option if you never really have time to hang out with friends, so you can kind of still be a little bit productive while you hang out with friends. Work smarter, not harder. Quizlet is your best friend. Don't make tangible flashcards if you don't have to, because that is a fat waste of time and a big waste of paper, and you can just find pre-made sets online. Kahoot. That was my shit. Y'all already know if the first place prize was extra credit, I was all in. Practice tests and study guides are super helpful. If your teacher gives you a study guide, make sure you know every damn thing on that list. Do not skip a thing on that list. I know there's gonna be that one thing you're gonna skip because you think there's no way that's gonna be on the test. It's gonna be on the test. And I'm not saying you should cheat, but I mean, I'm not saying you should write a cheat sheet with formulas on a piece of paper and tape it on the inside of your calculator case, so when you slide it, no one can see it, but if you slide it upward, you can see it as you use your calculator. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should do that. Do not do that. I am not saying for you to ask other people who have taken the test in periods before you how the test was, and possibly what was on it, and possibly any hard subjects that you need to know specifically, and possibly answers to the test before you take the test the next period. I'm not saying to do that. And lastly, I am not saying to look up answer sheets on Google, because half the time your assignment answers are online, because teachers just kind of take assignments they find online and print it out and use it as their own. I'm not saying to do that. I'm not saying to copy the answers from Google. I'm not. Don't be afraid to ask for extra credit work or a grade bump. Take any extra credit that is offered throughout the semester. Even if you don't think you need it, you never know if you might need that cushion, and that extra credit will help. For some reason, I always found myself having borderline grades. I always had like an 89.9, so I asked for grade bumps often. And if time gets tough, because I know some teachers are sticklers and will not give you a grade bump for your damn life, don't be afraid to ask consistently and pull out the tears if needed. Do not be afraid of crying in front of your teachers, because that is an advantage, okay? Especially if you can cry on command. If you can cry on command, you're set. If you cry, that will raise your chances of your teacher showing empathy, and the next thing you know, boom, you got a grade bump. One time, I emailed my teacher literally 3 times, begging him to bump my grade. I mean, he didn't, but at least I tried. I still think about that 89.9% to this day. Also helps if you're a good student, you know, ask questions in class and just build a good relationship with your teacher. Really look at what other classes are available. This is one of my biggest regrets in high school. I didn't explore enough. For example, there was a class offered at my school called commercial music, and basically they like made little bands and created music, and it seemed like such a cool and interesting class, and I didn't find out about it until my senior year, so it was already too late for me to join the class. I also wish I took guitar, and I wish I took drama earlier on. And don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone and try something new. I remember my freshman year, I didn't want to join drama because I felt like I wasn't talented enough. I couldn't act or anything. And also I feel like drama kids kind of get like a bad rep, but I did it anyways, and it was one of my favorite classes I've ever taken. So you never know. You never know. Don't stress too much about college. As long as you shut up and do your work in class, you'll be fine. Don't be super disruptive. Don't be a class clown or a troublemaker. That's just so annoying. No one thinks you're funny. Everyone in the class is just annoyed and trying to learn. And I don't know why people love being disrespectful to teachers. They're just trying to do their damn job. I know a lot of people say this, but grades truly are not everything. As long as you try your best, I promise you will get into college. If you really think about it, even dumb people get into college. Like the dumb people at your school, they will get into college, and if they can, I'm pretty sure you can. Moving on to socially, be yourself. This is said so much and it's so cheesy, but it's true. Just be who you are, wear what you want, do what you want, don't put on an act. Trust me, I know other teenagers are so intimidating and you feel like you have to put on this filter or change yourself to conform to them. You're never gonna talk or see these people ever again after you graduate, so there's really no point on being fake and not being who you really are. Get a passion, hobby, or join a club. Whether that's dancing, art, music, whatever, dedicate your extra time to it. It's really important to have that thing in your life to enjoy instead of strictly just focusing on academics. And do not just join a bunch of clubs and do a bunch of extracurriculars for college. I would recommend doing a few things or one thing even that you genuinely enjoy, because colleges do like when you are dedicated to something and have a clear passion for it. Also, you can find friends from this and you can figure out possible career options for the future. Make the most out of high school. High school truly does not matter. It's the only time you'll have left to slack off and do whatever you want before you have to go to college and just have all that adult responsibility and stress. It's the last final years of your life where you're truly a kid, so just really appreciate your youth. Make sure you have school spirit, like do the spirit days. Even if no one else is doing it, you should still do it and start the trend, because if everybody has that mindset, then no one would ever have school spirit. So you really need to just start doing school spirit for yourself. Get a few friends to do it with you. Go to games, go to dances, go to musicals, plays, shows, and just romanticize your life. This is the time to try to make your life feel like a movie. Don't worry about having a lot of friends. I went through high school with not that many friends. I didn't have a solid friend group. I didn't have a best friend. No one really ever invited me to things. It was always me who had to do the planning and inviting. If I were to go MIA and stop making plans with people, I wouldn't leave my house for months. I swear no one would message me. This is one of the main problems I had in school, is that I tried and cared so much about having friends and making friends. And I'm always the one to put more energy into a friendship. That's just how it's always been. I've always been the first one to text, the first one to call, first one to FaceTime. It really bothered me throughout high school, but after a while, I kind of just got used to it and realized that it's not that big of a deal. It's okay if people don't want to be friends with you or hang out with you. And it kind of just taught me to learn how to be by myself and enjoy spending time alone. And it's quality over quantity. By the end of high school, you'll have fewer friends than you started with. Just don't try so hard. If someone wants to be your friend, they will make an effort to be your friend. And if they don't want to be your friend, then just leave. It's not worth putting in all that extra time and effort to try to build this relationship and have it be one-sided. I say that as all my relationships are mostly one-sided. At this point, I don't necessarily know if I'm okay with it or if I'm just used to it. I think it's the second one. Don't try to be with the popular kids. My freshman self going to high school wanted to be popular so bad. Like, it was my goal to be popular. Spoiler alert, I ended up not being popular. Wow, so surprising. Trust me when I say half of the popular kids are all toxic and boring, and they are peaking in high school. It's better to make memories with people you actually like and care about and can relate to, instead of forcing yourself to spend time with people that don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about you anyway. I guess I'm just a playdate to you. Also in high school, popularity doesn't even exist. It's kind of just entitled kids pretending to be popular and acting like everyone cares who they are, and everyone else is kind of just minding their own business and in their own circles and not giving them the time of day. You don't have to party if you don't want to. Do not get peer pressured. You don't have to drink and do drugs. I personally stayed away from all that. It really just wasn't my scene. Everyone I know who's doing drugs and drinking, they aren't doing too well right now. So I think that says something. Vaping and juuling though, fuck that. Do not vape or juul. It does not make you any cooler. I swear to God, if I see you posting on your Snap story, you vaping and blowing O's, I will punch you in the face. I promise you, no one is looking through your story and being like, wow, oh my God, your lungs are probably so disgusting. You're so cool. I do not recommend it. But if you do, I mean, that's your business.
Do that because that's your business.
Don't partake in drama. I'm a very black and white person. I'm realistic. I go straight to the point. I'm not dramatic. If I have a problem with something, I would directly address that problem. I don't think I had any drama ever in high school. High school is such a small part of your life and it's so short, so there's really no point. As long as you're kind to everyone and you mind your business, no one will be mean to you and you should be good. It should be smooth sailing. If you're late, then just take your time since you're late already. There have been multiple times where I have woken up late and I felt this need to stress out and rush to school as fast as I could. But then I eventually learned if you wake up late, then you're late. There's no controlling it. You're gonna be marked either way. Might as well take your time getting ready, pick out a nice outfit, look good, go get some breakfast. If you're gonna miss a part of first period, might as well miss the entirety of first period and catch up later instead of showing up a mess. I always stressed out being late to school, and for what? For what? It's just school. I feel like we think of school as this like scary big thing, but it's just a building that you go to every day to learn. Unless you show up late a lot, then maybe you can get like detention or something, but I was late quite a few times and I never got detention. Take care of yourself because your health comes first. Make sure you're trying your best to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I know high school can get crazy busy and your diet ends up consisting of just iced coffee, but make sure you are eating breakfast in the morning. So many people I know do not eat breakfast in the morning and it's the most important meal of the day. And do not neglect your mental health. Make sure you're taking mental health breaks. Take the day off from school if you need to. For me, if I knew I was doing nothing that day at school, I would just take the day off just because I didn't want to show up. Or a lot of times I would skip first period and just show up tardy just because I wanted to. My final tip is to have a work and social life balance. Do not stay up till 3 a.m. trying to finish an assignment that you know is not gonna get done. If you want to sleep, then just sleep. You don't have to finish that assignment. Even if it's due the next day, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna turn in late? Wow. That's crazy. You're gonna have to turn in a late assignment? Oh my God. The amount of times I have stayed up to finish assignments or study when I could have just gone to bed and slept. Also late at night, your brain is not functioning. So by the next day, you're gonna forget everything and also you're gonna be tired. So why not go to sleep, not be tired, and still know nothing? Make sure you set time aside for yourself and for your hobbies or to spend time with your friends and family, because school should not be your top priority. Your friends, family, your health, yourself, all that should be your first priority. School should always be second. That's all I have to say. Basically, just have the time of your life. Okay, so that's all the advice I'm gonna be giving today. Hopefully you learned something, you know? Whoa, is that an accent? Irish accent? Did you hear that? Lucky Charms. What's the catchphrase for that? Magically delicious. Yes, okay. High school is so minuscule. You'll get through it. If you're going to high school, good damn luck. You're gonna have fun. Just kidding. Probably not. And if you're in high school right now, well, sorry about it. That's pretty much all I have to say. Bye, guys.
Or is it something I said?